Hello, everybody. I do want to say this right now. This is gonna be a shorter stream, and let me move my mic a little closer. This is gonna be a shorter stream because Sheet and Sheets are streaming today at 2:15 CST, and I want y'all to go and watch the stream. All right, my brain took a massive fart. But one of the things we're gonna be doing is I need to like show my screen for this. So, by the way, let's say hi to everybody. Hello, Mason. Hello, Mies. Hello, Kicking the Swede. I know. It's just I'm just reminding everybody. Kicking. But let's head over here and well, Eilish Jack waves hello. We're going to browser and then enhance or stretch. We're gonna stretch you more. Hi Max. Drawing the sketches I made to be digital. Let's go. That's good. I'm just gonna read this out. This was made 22 hours ago, so at some point. For those who don't know, I've been covering 1-800 Dust Bunny recently. A person who harassed a couple just for dissecting an already dead mouse, sicked Isaac and Vlad on them, stole art, lived vicariously through them, and who is now harassing minors from the I have no mouth and I must scream community. Who, on our call, said she was off the internet. Well, guess who ran to Reddit? Bunny! I'm not reading that part. I'm calling you your name because you had zero respect for Gray on our call and called them their dead name. 2. I'm going to treat you like your best friend, Isaac, and call out and bring attention to every account you have. Hiding your Reddit posts isn't going to save you. We got ways around. And here is 5'10". That's okay. 5'10" in height. Likes her girlfriend. The smell of books. The sound of rain. Fashions less dress up. Psychedelic rock. Bigots, bullies, people who don't think she is real. Gonna we're just gonna do this. Commercial 295. Aw, thank you so much. And yeah, I consider her very similar to Am from I Have No Mouth. She can be herself, gain sentience. Therefore she is cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. I'm a huge Heart Ellison slash I have no mouth and I'm a scream nerd. Sorry. Lol. This says August 2nd, 2026. And then the time being 5 o'clock. Yes, they're a pair of yellow aviators I own IRL, and are very personal to me. Colon 3. Junior commercial 295. 23-year-old Canadian artist. By the way, this is Bunny's account. I don't have my jar here. Sorry that you don't have your jar. No, we're not putting Kickin in the timeout jar. No. We're not putting Kickin in the timeout jar. But that is all I have. But we're going to be Bunny trying to hide from the public again. Exactly. But in way of videos, I have quite a few. And let me just. We have our videos from yesterday that we gotta finish. We also have the. We have stories and jobs. So, we're gonna round out this week. What is that? Here's your. My browser. Don't know. That was my browser sound. So, this video.
I know I said
Inferno. And the title is Just a Robot Destroys My Friend. Sorry. Okay.
I know I said I wouldn't make another video until after my vacation, but
Okay. Recently, going on. Um. Sorry. Is this better? Just fix this real quick. There we go. I'm not in the upside down. What? What is going on? Hang on. I'm just gonna check this real quick. Okay. I think. Yeah, calm now. That's good. But let's get the iPad out. Sorry. I'll put the keyboard over here. And I'm not going to be able to type for a little bit. I also got some popcorn. It's skinny pop. Sorry. We're going to be doing the cherries again. You know, the gay cherries. It sounded like you were inside a jar while breaking others' jars inside the jarception. You need to listen back to that shit. That curse shit. Give me a second. I'm gonna turn on the Verno video while I check on my phone to hear how cursed I am.
Something pretty upsetting happened just a few hours ago, and I feel like I need to bring attention to that. But before we begin, I know I normally don't do something like this, but I would appreciate it if you like, comment, and share this video as much as possible, so more people will be aware of what happened. Before we begin though, let me explain what happened. So I was at work having my lunch break when I got a message from my friend Lusik Shiloh, who I've mentioned in one of my most recent videos. Well, basically his newest video got struck down and now he has a community guideline warning. So let me tell you all what the video was about. It was a video talking about Just a Robot, criticizing him for a number of his past actions. Lucid talked about the Cinebear stuff, Klaus' racism, and the VidCon stuff with Mally Malware.
Okay, I just listened back to it. I did not know it was making that cursed noise. Oh, that is so horrible. I'm so sorry. I have it on my phone. Sorry, the bump. But I didn't know it was making that like cursed, cursed little glitchy noise. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. My poor ears. Why is it still going? Hang on, let me check. Now I'm scared. That was so cursed. I'm sorry. Okay, no, it's not still going. Okay, good. We're okay now. We're safe now. Okay. No, you fixed it. Good. But I saw this on my For You page, and I was kind of surprised because Jar doesn't seem like the type to like strike people, but I could be wrong. My poor ears won't recover. No! Let's rewind this a little bit.
Before we begin though, let me explain what happened. So I was at work having my lunch break when I got a message from my friend Lusik Shiloh, who I've mentioned in one of my most recent videos. Well, basically his newest video got struck down and now he has a
After countless times of cyberbullying, racism, and SH, Luke had the video taken down. For context, my other videos where I go off on people never had this problem, but knowing he fact knowing that he fact and watched it and blocked me on Twitter, I'm not surprised. And what's being shown is a community guideline strike for a video called The Self-Destruction of One Just a Robot. Live stream recording is not available. Cyberbullying and harassment. Content that targets people with prolonged insults or slurs based on their intrinsic attributes isn't allowed on YouTube.
community guideline warning. So let me tell you all what the video was about. It was a video talking about Just a Robot, criticizing him for a number of his past actions. Lucid talked about the Cinebear stuff, Klaus' racism, and the VidCon stuff with Mally Malware. among other situations. And he also criticized his former friends for enabling his behavior. It was a very well put together video and had a very refreshing point of view on the situation. So it is a very well known fact that Clar will look at every criticism video made on him and then he will obsess over the person who made that video, even with YouTubers that have less than 100 subscribers. Let me remind you all that Clar is in his 30s, which makes this behavior much more pathetic and laughable. So it was a given that Clar would look at Lucid's videos sooner or later. And as a result, Clar blocked Lucid on Twitter, which is whatever. But
Yeah. But there is this possibility that Jar's fan base could have seen it and flagged it down. There's that possibility. There's the possibility of it just being the AI. Like auto flagging it. Like YouTube's AI auto flagging the video. Like it happens.
the next thing he did is something that even I didn't expect from Clar. He reported Lucid's video for cyberbullying, and the video was taken down
Proof that it
as a
was
result.
actually
Let me say
Jar?
this real quick.
Because this video is like not even that old. Hang on. Like a month ago. Sorry. Yeah, this was from a month ago, and we're not a lot of people heard of this.
To you, Clar. You are a fucking snake. Lucid was very honest and blunt towards you and everyone else.
It's a night. AI moderation for you. Yeah, AI moderation. Mitch streamed a few hours ago. I tried to make him watch Jar's latest video. He got like 5 minutes in, and then he refused to watch it anymore. Because it would low key blast you with a de-atomizer. Why? Why the de-atomizer? Cracked butter bread? Why?
But he wasn't cyberbullying you. Clar basically just reported the video because this man cloud in his 30s couldn't take the whipping that he has been lashing out towards others for years. And believe me, I looked through the video to see if anything resembled cyberbullying or harassment. And no, I found nothing. Now, this infuriates me because of two things. First, it is just another example of Clar punching down at a smaller YouTuber, who is also my friend, only because Lucid hurt his pathetic, fragile little ego, which is far from a one-time thing. He has been going at smaller YouTubers for only mentioning him in a negative way. Second, this shows how broken YouTube's AI report system is. Because there is no way that a human reviewer decided that Lucid's video was cyberbullying. I want to make this video rather short, so I'm just gonna cap it off here. But here are some final words for you, Clar. Since I know that you'll be watching this. The fact that you have decided to take down my friend's video for criticizing you just shows me how genuinely pathetic you are as a human being. I honestly don't know how you made it to the age of 30 years while still acting like a child when being criticized. I just hope that this action will have consequences for you. Also, don't even think about reporting this video as well, because I pretty much took every precaution imaginable. And even if it would get taken down, you would only make things worse for yourself, because this video would get back online after some time. But if this video gets taken down, then I give you all in my community the permission to download the video and to re-upload it. You can even put ads on it for all I care. I just want the world to know what kind of rat Just a Robot is. Anyways, that's it for the video, and now we get to crediting the artists, starting with the current artists.
We're just gonna pause that and just let that marinate. The world is mind a wreck. like you'll de-atomize me because you like me. Aw, thank you. But our next video is an archive of Sonic 93 going Alduin Gajinka's the real hypocrite. Wait, this is part 2. We're gonna go, not that, because I would need part 1 for that, so nope. Sprite does not understand Alduin Gajinka.
Hey everybody, it is I, Flame the Demon Wolf, or Flame the Demon Wolf 2, because this is my second account. I don't know why I made a second account, but I just felt like it. But we're going to be doing a commentary or review video or whatever you want to call it. It is called Alduin is No Better Commentary. It's no use Sonic 93. Now, I already watched the entire video and oh dear God.
I would like to watch the video.
Hey everyone, this is Sprite here, back again with the video.
Oh
Now,
my
this
god,
video
it's a
is very
screen
different from
recording.
my
No.
other
No.
videos
No.
because
No.
it talks about time.
Oh, that's horrible. What the fuck? We're gonna watch Andrew Dobson.
Webcomics. In the earliest days of the internet, webcomics were one of the most popular forms of entertainment. Since in the early 2000s dial-up internet was still the standard, and loading a video could take 5 weeks, webcomics were a very easy way to gain a following online, since it just needed to be an image that loaded up. Back in the 2000s, webcomics were incredibly popular. Be it Penny Arcade, Control-Alt-Delete, or whatever floats your boat, they made a name for themselves. The quality of those webcomics nowadays can definitely be put
Learning
into
about
question.
Andrew Dobson.
You'll get your day in the spotlight someday, Buckley. But right now, we're going to put our focus on one very specific webcomic creator, and possibly the biggest downfall of a webcomic creator on the internet. This is Tom Preston, also known as Andrew Dobson. Dobson made a very popular webcomic in the early 2010s, and probably holds the record for peaking too early in his career and for being the biggest punching bag of a webcomic artist ever. And today, we're going to talk about why this is. This is the story of Dobson.
I don't think this bubble can get much bigger.
Nonsense!
I don't know why, like, what is going on with the video? Hang on, we're gonna try opening that again. It shouldn't be doing that weird dot thing.
Webcomics. In the earliest days were incredible. It, I'm going to have to break.
Oh, that's so weird. I'm guessing it's so... You can't get, like...
Dobson was mostly unknown in the early 2000s. Well, that's what he would have you believe anyway. That's a story for much later. Andrew would remain on the down low on the internet through most of the 2000s, drawing art, which is heavily inspired by 90s anime and Nintendo games. The anime influence in his artwork is very blatant. You can tell he was one of the original weebs of the 90s. And now that I'm mentioning it, I'm going to have to bring this up. Dobson's story is very similar to another person I've already covered. Movie Bob. The two are incredibly similar in many ways. Both were born in the 80s, they're now in their 40s, both are obsessed with Nintendo, both have a very similar political leaning, both are very feminist. You could look at them from far away and mistake them for the same person. But they went on completely separate paths. Movie Bob went on to become a movie critic, and Dobson went on to make webcomics. Their upbringing was also incredibly similar. They were both outcasts and were bullied for their obsession with Nintendo and geek stuff, but Dobson's bullying was apparently so bad he had to move states, specifically Minnesota, where he then attended the Minneapolis College of Art and Design in the early 2000s. Now this is a very prestigious college to go to. It costs quite a penny to go here, so Dobson was very privileged to be able to attend this college, but he only viewed them in a negative light. He basically admitted he dropped everything they taught him in order to go back to his idea of how art should be, which tells me they probably criticized his art, which is a college, they're going to do that, that's their job, and he didn't take too kindly to that. Major foreshadowing. Also, since he's balding in his 20s, God, I hate seeing myself in these people. He wore a stupid fedora every day to class, and it got him the nickname Hat Andy, which sounds like a Linkara side character.
I am a man!
After graduating from college, Dobson would mostly post art and comics on his DeviantArt, a lot of which are, like I said, based off of his favorite properties he grew up with, notably 90s anime and Nintendo. Oh boy, does he love himself some Nintendo. He's not Movie Bob levels of obsessed with them, but he's close. He would express his fanboyism for Nintendo in one of his older comics called Danny and Spot. Danny's too focused on the AAA next-gen high-budget games on the PS3 and 360, but Spot is here to show him games on the Wii are way better because they're fun! Oh, look at these guys playing games the boring way. But look at that. They're having fun on the Wii, flailing around like they have Parkinson's. Now, that's fun. That's what gaming is all about. Oh, those adult games are too serious and boring. The Wii's just like the wheel on the round earth. It's not a fad.
We're just gonna mute that because that's, I don't like ear rape.
Loves this fork. The person who they don't agree in the future. So I'm not showing this off just to expose Dobson's fanboyism, it's also the prototype format for a vast chunk of his work in the future. This person is stupid, but this person is a smart and informed one who aligns with Dobson's own views. This is what many have dubbed a strawman comic. The person who they don't agree with has their arguments boiled down to the point it's easy to debunk in a few comic panels. Also, they're ugly, fat, angry, or just stupid. Dobson loves this format, as he would use it for years, especially in 2010 when a little game called Metroid Other M came out. Everyone who knows about Metroid Other M knows. It is a very controversial game and considered one of the worst Metroid games, and Dobson defended this game with his dying breath. He considered it the best Metroid game, and considered Metroid Prime one of the most loved Metroid games to be the worst one. An act of true contrarianism. He would constantly get into arguments online about it, even years after its release. So Dobson, very early on, was already very combative and argumentative with people he didn't agree with. I just want you to imagine what it would be like with something that actually mattered. There was no moment of peace or him starting off calm and mild-mannered. From the very early days he was on the web, he was already stirring the pot with other people. Even in his DeviantArt blog posts, there was constant complaining and arguments. In 2006, he made this blog post where he detailed he was hooked up with a Jewish girlfriend and then had Hanukkah with her and her family, where he was miserable because it was a lot more boring compared to Christmas. He started drawing an art piece
That's horrible. That's that does not sound good because okay, full disclosure, I used to be engaged actually to like a very nice Jewish person. And why do I keep drawing the eye that direction? I shouldn't go there. And I was never like bored or upset or I forgot the YouTuber doing this video on Andrew Dobson. Magic Mush. It's Magic Mush. But it ended up not working out because of like some personal stuff. But we're cool. We're still friends. And this is not great.
Where he detailed he was hooked up with a Jewish girlfriend and then had Hanukkah with her and her family, where he was miserable because of constant complaining and arguments. In 2006, he made this blog post where he detailed he was.
Today started off in generally good spirits. I woke up, got a good response to a $140 commission that was never paid. Took a shower and got all clean, and my girlfriend and I were gonna go out and do some errands. I drew a picture for a painting last night, and today I started to fill in the flat colors. Before I began panting, I'm guessing he meant painting. When my girlfriend saw it, she said, "Oh, you're doing it in 3D?" Which I took a strong offense to. I wasn't doing anything in 3D. But it was just flat colors. No real depth to it. Emphasis on yet. And anyway, what if I was doing it in 3D? Why should that be a put down? It wasn't. She was just asking. We're gonna skip ahead. The conversation didn't pick up right away while we were driving. I was still a bit sore about the painting. I knew she didn't mean to put me down. She wasn't putting you down. But it hurt nonetheless. Finally, we started talking about her nephew's presents for Hanukkah. At this point, I started to feel a bit homesick. I miss waiting for Christmas to open presents. I miss the uncertain feeling of whether or not Santa really did come for a visit. I miss the stockings, the tree, and waking up at 6 a.m. This will be almost the 5th year that I've missed it because I've been out here in Minnesota. All my family is out in Massachusetts, and I won't be getting anything I want for Christmas this year yet again. I'm not a Christian, and neither is my family, but out here in Massachusetts, I don't know anyone who didn't celebrate Christmas. Out there in Massachusetts, I didn't know anyone who didn't celebrate Christmas. So when my girlfriend told me that her nephew was going to be brought up Jewish, something kind of kicked off in my brain. Looking back, it seems rather ridiculous, but at the time, it felt like a whole piece of childhood, with Santa and all that. This only further heightened my homesickness. Not everyone celebrates Christmas, dude! I already don't like this. Like, who hears, "Oh yeah, my nephew's gonna be brought up Jewish"? He made fun of his Jewish girlfriend by making a comic about how boring Hanukkah is. Hanukkah's not boring. He should to twit. Hi T Crash, webcomics. Those were the days. True. I mean, some people still do webcomics. I really don't like the eyes. Why do I not like the eyes? Maybe it's the guideline I drew for it.
Hooked up with a Jewish girlfriend and then had Hanukkah with her and her family, where he was miserable because it was a lot more boring compared to Christmas. He started drawing an art piece to express how miserable he was, and then his girlfriend saw the picture he drew and naturally took offense to it. He took something that mattered a lot to her and made with people. He would make animations and demo reels on YouTube to show off his animation skills.
Hey, paisano!
Oh my god. Mario, Luigi, Princess, Toad!
Who did you expect? Pee Wee Herman?
One day, he created this little comic he dubbed the Potato Comic. A basic little comic where Dobson makes himself dinner with a single potato and then proceeds to make a pop culture reference. This one comic would inspire Dobson to truly start his career. A career for the ages.
You found me!
Of course! You stick out like a big sore pink thumb!
Less talky, more wishy! I wish the whole world was back to the way it's supposed to be!
In January of 2011, Dobson would create his most popular comic, So You're a Cartoonist. This was a webcomic dedicated to Dobson showing off his struggles as an online cartoonist, detailing his early life and upbringing in a very comedic and exaggerated fashion. And it was a surprise hit! A lot of artists were able to relate and laugh at all the crap Dobson went through to get where he was now. Around the same time making this, he also collaborated with internet musician Parental Floss to make a comic series for him. So Dobson is finally getting recognition after all these years. But as anyone should know, fame is a package deal. When you get a ton of people looking up to you and enjoying your work, you also get a lot of people who think you could do better. And here comes the most well-known fact about Dobson. Andrew Dobson cannot take criticism.
Oh no.
Now I want to make one thing very clear here. I am not an artist. I am not an art critic.
Okay. Not liking criticism is like fine and all. Sometimes you'll get criticism that's like not really good. Sometimes you'll get some that are less than ideal. A lot of it stems from the desire to try to like want what's best, like try and help an artist improve, essentially. Sounds like a personal choice. They could have celebrated Cart. It's most likely like the now ex-girlfriend took an issue with it because of the fact that Andrew was like drawing a little doodle of him being bored during a holiday that he could have just said, hey, no offense, but I don't want to celebrate Hanukkah. He could have done that, but instead of communicating it with his ex, he chose to sulk like a child. Relationships are about compromising for the people you love. If the compromise is like too outrageous, then yeah, you can push back on that. Otherwise, he was a douchebag. Yeah, he was a fucking douche canoe.
I can't really judge how good or bad Dobson's art is because I have very low standards to consider something good. I mean, look, my art skills are basically Chris Chan monkey scratchings. I cannot draw worth a damn. So anything that could potentially be wrong with Dobson's art, I won't be able to notice. But I know some people who do draw are probably pulling their hair out just seeing some of Dobson's work. Dobson gets a lot of flack and criticism for his art skills. The ordinary online artist is always looking to improve their work. They will always want to evolve and grow in their hobby. That's why they always ask for critiques and ways they can improve. That's a big part of art culture. Andrew Dobson is not the ordinary online artist.
Yeah,
if you're an artist and you get a comment that says something like, "This art piece sucks and so do you," that's just a throwaway comment that helps no one in any way. Comments that are saying stuff like, "You could do some more shading here, or fix this up, or change this to make it better," that's a suggestion on how to improve. To Andrew Dobson, these two comments are the exact same. You cannot criticize Dobson's work in any way, and he will block you. In the comment section of his art pieces, you can find long strings of him arguing with people over his art, all the time. He will make people criticizing his art the punchline in some of his comics, where they're a dumb poo-poo head and he's the smart one. He never tries actually debunking their criticisms. He usually just goes, "I don't care," and they're just mad.
Hang on, let's
because
actually
of
look
Dobson's
at
absolute
this,
rejection of any
at
smart
this
one. He never tries to actually.
This joke isn't funny. It's too predictable. Yeah, that's a good criticism. Why? What's wrong? A comic like this should only have 30 beats according to the ternary rhythm. The introduction, the premise, and the shh. Do you hear that? That's the sound of nobody caring. Okay, no, it should set up for the joke. Art nerdy here. Introduction, premise, punchline. He added like an extra panel, like a 3-beat story, but this is a full 4-panel comic. I have to agree with the guy in the blue. This isn't funny.
Debunking their criticisms, he usually just goes, "I don't care," and they're just mad. Because of Dobson's absolute rejection of any criticism whatsoever, a result of this is, his art has remained stagnant since the early 2000s.
Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Something right here could use a little bit of work. Tongue is a little short. Shading could be a lot better, actually.
Artists love when their art improves over the years. You know, when your style develops. I'm not even an art person, and even I can tell there is very little development in Dobson.
Wait a minute, hang on.
Develops. I'm not even an art person. Develops. I'm not even
2019, 20.
an art person, and even I can tell.
21. Oh my god. Okay, she's more muted and... What is going on with this art? How he did the coloring for this is just awful. These two right here.
There is very little development in Dobson.
22.
Dobson's
Which is
art.
changing.
It's the
23. This one's a little better.
same 90s manga.
24. 2005.
Anime styled stuff has always been.
25, 26. Yeah, his
Because
art's not
he
improving.
refuses to take any suggestions to change it or stylize it. He's also very self-aware about his art.
You like telling everyone to stay away from manga and anime and to draw more from life, right? Yep. But you yourself were greatly influenced by anime and even in an anime-like style. Yep. Isn't that a little hypocritical? Maybe, but I really prefer it if people learn from my mistakes. Oh, people can learn from your mistakes. And one of your greatest mistakes is your hypocrisy and not listening to people. Because here, her design is like garbage. The brightly purpled hair needs a lot more volume to it. The shading is wow. The uniform greatly clashes with her hair. So if you're gonna like have her in this uniform, her hair needs to be black. Otherwise, you need to give her a completely different uniform entirely.
His career not developing, he has multiple comics talking about how pathetic he is. But you're doing this to yourself. There's no point in being self-aware.
Plenty of people have tried offering you criticism and tips to improve your art before, and you've blocked them or written them off as trolls. Your stuff from when you were at art school is way better. It wasn't perfect, but at least you played with shading. dynamic shading, facial expressions, coloring techniques, perspectives, etc. Your cartoonish dick is basically the equivalent of giving yourself blowjobs. There is no variation in it. It's just you and some straw man in front of a blank void with someone's eyebrows flying off their face and you blowing smoke out your ass. Your artwork is mediocre because you don't try as hard as you can. Isn't drawing your entire career? Why wouldn't you want to try to excel at it? Are you satisfied with just being a middle rung artist whose fan base is comprised of mostly 15-year-olds? Common replied, are you satisfied with just being a middle rung artist whose fan base is comprised mostly of 15-year-olds? I can answer that one honestly. Yes, I am. Oh yeah, your career is gonna die. Wait, what? Isn't that the guy who made up the story about punching a creep at a con? He did what now? Sorry, I'm eating popcorn. What? That's interesting. Not great at all.
If you aren't gonna do anything about it. Oh, and that whole 90s anime inspiration is another thing to put up on Dobson's wall of shame. The man has a hate boner for any anime airing past 1999, but loves the stuff he grew up with and will only take cues from that. One time, he tried stylizing Steven Universe characters in the style of one of his favorite 90s Japanese artists.
What the What is this? Oh, this is horrible. Steven's face. What the fuck happened? He looks like he looks like he has a birth defect. Amethyst, no. What even is this? Oh, this is horrible. Horrible.
It did not turn out well. Part of his seething hatred for more adult-oriented anime blowing up in popularity in the early 2000s is because he thinks it actually had a negative impact on his life. Okay, so I just want you to just try and wrap your head around this.
Hold on, what?
Because he thinks it actually had a negative impact on his life.
What? How? Did Anime kill his grandmother? Did Anime steal his lunch money? Late to stream. Who is this? This is, Andrew, the Magic Munch video on Andrew Dobson. By the way, welcome to stream.
Okay, so I just want you to just try and wrap your head around this. Dobson's dream since childhood was to be an animator at Disney. He would write and read about it, while his family said it was a bad idea. That's why he went to college. Then in 2000, I just want you to just try and wrap your head around this. Dobson's dream since childhood was to be an animator at Disney. He would write and read about.
Someday, when I grow up, I'm going to be a great animator and work for Disney. I'm gonna try and move my mouse away so I can read this. Don't work for Disney. You'll never amount to anything here. Just be drawing in-betweens all your life. I hated Disney. The man was a genius. But he made us all nervous and edgy. I quit my job because it was too stressful. What the fuck is he reading? Going to college for animation? Why? If you work for Disney, you'll be a sellout and you'll own your life's work. Didn't you hear? Disney fired all their animators. You're out of work, man. Why am I not doing what I want with my life? You could be an indie animator. I'm not reading that comment. No, 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 no. I think like it's referencing. Give me a second. Early thousands adult anime. We're gonna try this. No, 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 no. I think he learned like edgy anime. So uh let's see. Howl's Moving Castle released in the early 2000s. Oh, here it is. There's Marvel List. Nope. I was wrong and an idiot. I'm thinking, like, would you rather work for Disney or Mappa? Mappa. I ain't working for the mouse. I'm gonna be honest, I ain't working for the mouse. And at least it, like, if I lose the job, I have, like, references. I can, like, show examples of my work and get jobs otherwhere. As for Disney, I'm sorry, I'd rather draw my animations, thank you.
About it, while his family said it was a bad idea. That's why he went to college. Then, in 2002, a movie called Treasure Planet came out. I just want to say, Treasure Planet is my favorite Disney movie. That movie is a damn classic. It has soul. Dobson, however, thinks differently of it. He thinks the movie was inspired by the more adult anime around the time. It tried to be much more mature than a typical Disney film, but the movie bombed at the box office. And because it bombed, Disney fired a ton of animators, and this was when they started pushing more into CGI because of it failing. So now, his dream of working at Disney was now shot because Treasure Planet bombed, which he thinks was inspired by anime, so therefore anime ruined his career and
West versus East. Now, thanks to anime, I lost my job. I'm an animator. I have a BAFTA in animation. The only reason I don't have a job in animation right now is because Disney fired their animators after their anime influenced movie, Treasure Planet, tanked at the box office. No shot. You know what Mappa does with their employees, right? I am very aware that it is pretty much a sweatshop. I'm going to be incredibly honest with you. Sorry, popcorn kernel in my mouth. In my teeth, real quick. But imagine animating. Like, okay, are you familiar with, like, the. Imagine being one of the ones who get to animate. they animated like the Toji animation. You know, like the ones where like Toji's like kicking ass. You know that Toji. They also animated the Maki fight, the Maki Zenin sequence where Maki obliterates her entire fucking family. It's beautiful animation. Meanwhile, and that's because I like drawing anime. I say as I'm changing out my references so I can draw an eye, like a chibi eye.
And therefore his life. You got that? I know it seems like we're just jumping around all over the place, but that's really the best way to look at Dobson. It's not really a straightforward story, it's more like an anthology of events that come together and really explain why things are the way they are with him. Of course, being a controversial artist, you can't not have a tracing scandal. Take a look at this art piece of Dobson. And a lot of they started pushing more CGI because of it failing. So now, his dream of working at Disney was now shot because Treasure Planet bombed, which he thinks was inspired by anime, so therefore anime ruined his career and therefore his life. You got that? I know it seems like we're just jumping around all over the place, but that's really the best way to look at Dobson. It's not really a straightforward
I wonder
story.
why.
It's more like
what else would stop Dobson from getting a job in animation?
Of events that come together and really explain why.
Maybe it's the severe lack in animation. DMs. Okay, give me a second. What the fuck is this? Apparently based on real life. No way! Hang on, I need to zoom in. No! This is evil! What is this? Oh, Dragon Slayer sent me the comic of like the con thing. That is, oh my god. That is the most fucking, oh my god. My cat's just, I can't be. My cat's just staring at me, losing my shit. There's, maybe this video will get into it, but oh my god. Hi, Gabby. Gabby's a little concerned for me. Honestly, the only anime where I want to copy the art style is Bleach. Yeah, Bleach has a really good art style. For me, it's Gachiakuta.
They are with him.
Like K.
Of course, being a controversial artist, you.
Hang on.
Look at Dobson. It's not really a straightforward story. It's more like
an
anthology of events that come together and really explain why things are the way they are with him. Of course.
Meet the artist, Andrew Dobson. He's 5'6". Arm hair. What's in the bag? Headphones, Nintendo 3DS. Power cords. Tech stuff. Alter ego. The Blue Bear. Likes. And it's just like, it's the Disney glove. Dude. Nintendo 2D animation. Sleeping. Eating. Dislikes. Negativity. Bugs. Depression. And mayo. Okay, Then why don't you just make online animation? I almost thought Jack was leaking our DMs to you. Okay, what have you been sending Jack?
As being a controversial artist, you can't not have a tracing scandal. Take a look at this art piece of Dobson in a lot of British media and tell me what looks.
What the fuck is wrong with Big Ben? This picture? Teacup Flying Saucer, Mary Poppins, Chicken Glove. What the fuck? Yeah, the phone box right here. The police phone box right here. The TARDIS right here. Looks traced. Big Ben is just like slapped on.
At a place here.
I spot two things.
If it wasn't plainly obvious, that Big Bang back there is blatantly traced. And even worse, since he planned on selling this at a convention.
He planned on selling it? He planned on selling it? Hurriedly drawing a replacement and putting on your channel does not constitute shown online. It constitutes you not wanting to show us what you did in Photoshop for no apparent reason. It's not like we couldn't easily compare the original line art to the massive picture of Big Ben or anything, right? If you're having trouble with Big Ben, there should have been like... When did... Hang on. I use Clip Studio Paint. I use a lot of Clip Studio Paint assets. Clip Studio and... Hang on. When did Clip Studio add 3D? Yeah, it was initial release 2012, and I'm guessing. Look, if you're going to do something like this, which is like tracing Big Ben, like when did he release that Big Ben?
If it wasn't plainly obvious, that Big Bang back there is blatantly traced.
Oh. Wow.
And even worse, since he planned on selling this at a convention. People were very quick to notice and called Dobson out for this, which Dobson didn't take too well.
You didn't stick with your original drawing of Big Ben,
Forever
which
Panda.
is absolutely fine and was stylized to the rest of the picture. You didn't also do this
Wait,
for the
so he
TARDIS,
wasn't
which is
having
the
trouble with
frame
Big...
of the
Let's rewind that.
was stylized to
Yeah, the original Big Ben looked fine. Why did you put like a traced image of Big Ben in its place? Why? One day I want to see somebody put depression on the like side. Depression isn't like fun, honestly. Like, I pretty much have it. Because there are days where I'm just like, I don't feel like there are days, I'm just gonna just call it depression. I have depression. There are days where I'm just like, does it even matter? I just want to rot all day. Because it's like a lot easier to just stay in bed than get up. And like this feeling of worthlessness. Like it sucks. It sucks.
rest of the
I need to look
picture.
for this forever pandering video. But yeah, this is pretty fucking obvious.
Didn't also do this for the TARDIS, which I could probably bring up, but the point is that it's pretty easy to focus on Big Ben because it sticks out like a sore thumb.
This also isn't the only time Dobson has done something illegal when it comes to selling art. He also attempted to sell art with a ton of licensed characters he didn't own and was called out for this as well. And of course, he made a comic in response, because of course he would. And finally, we have to talk about the Metro.
Was stylized to the rest of the picture. You didn't also do this for the TARDIS, which I could probably bring up, but the point is that it's pretty easy to focus on Big Ben because it sticks out like a sore thumb.
This also isn't the only time Dobson.
Oh my god. Yeah, probably. Yeah, he can't even sell this. Like, if this was like a really high paying commission, maybe.
Dobson has done something illegal when it comes to selling art. He also attempted to sell art with a ton of licensed characters he didn't own and was called out for this as well. And of course, he made a comic in response.
Wait, no, this isn't the art. This is the art. You can't sell that art because it's copyrighted characters in it. I won't. Calm down. Okay. For me, unless it's like very apparent, I don't like sell copyrighted stuff to claim it's mine. Like, I have a Patreon. Everyone knows, like, the stuff on Patreon is just art, right? It's just art I make. However, what Andrew Dobson is like trying to do is infringe on Nintendo's copyright. And for those who don't know how litigious Nintendo can be, Nintendo took Pal World to court because it had like pocket monsters. And then tried like a lot of bullshit in copyright. We're talking about Andrew Dobson. Yes, Lilo Skull. We are. Well, I'm trying to figure out these eyes. Start. What if I do it like this? Okay, yeah, now it's looking better. Remember, isn't Dorothy like 13? Remember Andrew Ditch? Not Andrew Ditch. Andrew shipped the witch and Dorothy, by the way. What the fuck? The fuck? Stop. Stop. I hate this. I hate this. This is horrible. Yeah, a lot of these sites are technically breaking the law. Yeah, I could tell right here that he's infringing on Nintendo's copyright. Yeah, you can't sell Nintendo stuff.
And finally, we have to talk about the Metroid Commission.
Oh,
Not
no.
only does he have horrific taste in the Metroid series,
Metroid Other M is better than... No. Fuck, now I have to deal with people praising the shit out of Metro Prime Trilogy all over again.
but when it came to actually drawing said series, it was just as bad. In 2014, someone and of course he made a comic in response, because of course he would. And finally, we have to talk about the Metroid Commission. Not only does he have horrific taste in the Metroid series, but when it came to actually drawing said series, it was just as bad. In 2014, someone...
Hi, Andy. Sorry for my lack of response. I was out of town. Thank you for showing me the progress on the piece. I like the pose so far, but I was wondering if you could make a couple of adjustments. I don't know if you have a specific revision policy or not, but if possible, could you maybe adjust the foreshortening on the arms a bit? The hand holding the gun in front too small. Looks too small, and the other one moving forward looks too big. Also, I think the leg on the right side might look better if it were turned more forward more instead of being in profile, but it's no big deal. I hope that doesn't come off too high maintenance or anything. It was just a few things I noticed. Either way, thank you, Andrew Dobson. Made some adjustments. Does this look better overall?
Commissioned Dobson to
Andy.
draw a picture of Samus breaking out of her power armor while
Okay. Hi, Andrew. Thank you for sending me this newer sketch. I took some time to look over it and so I could give you a response. I like the way you've drawn the armor breaking off her. That's what I had in mind. I also like the wrapping of the ponytail to make her more dynamic. Just a couple of, yeah. Okay. Thing. Fine, just drawing Yumi ship art and drawing my Sona being brutally killed. Why? By the way, based Yumi ship art. Yeah, it's like
fighting Ridley. Dobson asked for $45 up front for it, and he would send in progress of the picture,
$45?
which of course the customer asked for touch-ups. This would continue on for a few weeks until the pic was finally done. 4 months later, it took him
4
months to finish this picture.
4 months? It took 4 months for this picture. 4 months. It took 4 months. It took 4 months? 4 months. What the fuck is this light? This lighting.
Which is of average quality and not asking for anything big. Oh, and by the way, the Ridley in the background is traced. It was later revealed
Hi, Andy. Sorry.
that the thing was actually set up by 4chaners, who wanted to see what would happen if they commissioned him. After he found this out, he was, in his own words, traumatized. He refused to do any commission. You big. Oh, and by the way, the Ridley in the background is traced. It was later revealed that the thing was actually set up by 4chaners, who wanted to see what would happen if they commissioned him. After he found this out, he was...
Mission Progress was a test designed to criticize me and my work, cooked up by my loving haters over at Encyclopedia Dramatica. It was 4chan. That I was secretly being publicly judged every step of the way, and it was not sincere. They just wanted to see what would happen. Because you're an artist. They wanted to see if you would do your job. As like an artist accepting commissions. The fact these people they gave you 40 something bucks. Went to so much trouble just to deceive me should be noted. They gave you money to draw Samus doing Samus things. Because throughout the entire exchange, there was no indication that what I was doing wasn't what they wanted. It was a trap, plain and simple, and it rankled me. I didn't accept a commission after that for almost 2 years. They overall gave you? Because they're Jack and Rosemary, who are implied to possess the main robots. Ooh, that sounds neat.
In his own words, traumatized.
And even when I do now, I still wonder in the back of my head if any of them are being sincere or if this is just another test designed to expose me. It's gaslighting and manipulative as fuck. Dude, you were given money. 4chan willingly gave you. Your haters gave you money for you to draw them. Something. I don't like how this eye looks. Why am I having so much goddamn trouble with the eyes? Work with me. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. But the fact that you were given money, it's money. I want to know how much 4chan paid for this. I want to know the in total, because in today's economy, that's grocery money.
He refused to do any commissions for at least 2 years, but he didn't know about this until after the fact. You can.
What was it? This incident is often cited as one of the reasons why I'm a bad artist. Your art is mediocre. You had this weird ring light thing going on. Like, Samus's face. Hang on. 13, 23. Hang on. So I don't lose my place in the video. 13. 23. We're gonna take a close look at that Samus image. There we go. It is too dark to properly see Ridley. The shading on, like, Ridley's eyes, the shading on Samus, the weird glow effect you added to both of them. Ridley's face looks incredibly weird. Like, she has duck lips. Like, the sketch looked better than the overall commission. The gun looks like a plastic squirt gun. Fingers are doing a weird thing here. Though I can't judge much because I sometimes have trouble with hands too. And, oh my god. Like, the bangs. Her bangs are awful.
Big. Oh, and by the way, the Ridley in the background is traced. It was later.
Yeah, right here it looks better.
Revealed that the thing was actually set up by.
The sketch looks better. Let's go to here. This incident, a bad artist, despite the reception of the finished work to be quite positive on DeviantArt. People liked it, but that didn't matter. I had been taken advantage of, and my trust betrayed. Oh my god. Okay, Dobson. You are most likely never gonna interact with these people again. At least commission-wise. They gave you money to do a job. It's a job.
You can look online and see what took so much of Dobson's free time. Arguing with people. We have only scratched the surface, so buckle up. It's time to delve even deeper into Dobson's dark spiral. Now, like I've said before, Dobson and Movie Bob have a lot of similarities. This also includes their politics and their moral beliefs, which are damn near identical. No, Dobson isn't nearly as extreme as Movie Bob was. He doesn't wish for eugenics or some way of wiping out people who disagree with him. But basically, if I were to go over everything, it'd be just a Diet Coke version of Movie Bob, so I'll keep it brief. Dobson is very heavy left-leaning, he's very feminist, and fights for groups that are marginalized. He talks
That's
a lot
not
about
bad. Every great movement needs a great mascot. I'm not voicing the Google. I'm totally not part of a sexist group of gamers because I'm a girl. And so I present to you Oculus Thrift, the dumpster diving college grad. This face is horrifying. He looks rapey here. I can't pay off my student loans. Because, thanks to Wall Street fat cats. What the fuck is wrong with her gur hat? It looks like it's dying on the
brigade
inside.
and a bunch of other things for that matter. He hates any sort of objectification of women and sexism in any industry, and is
I'm gonna say this as like a
take off
raging
the G's, the B's, the
bisexual.
T's, and everything else, and it's 1,000 times already. Most notably, brigade and a bunch of other things for that matter. He hates any sort of objectification of women and sexism
Stop doing sexist
in any
crap.
industry.
Personal and intellectual abilities and capabilities of a female, and reducing a woman's worth. What the fuck are you reading from?
Very feminist and fights for groups that are marginalized. He talked a lot about Goo Brigade and a bunch of other things for that matter. He hates any sort of objectification of women and sexism in any industry.
Objectification. Oh, he's just talking. The dictionary.
And he's made a ton of comics about it. You've probably seen this same song.
Intentionally. On an entirely unrelated note, this is what you look like in DC's New 52.
Dance 1,000 times already. Most notably, he's a big ally of the LGBTQ community, especially in the Western animation scene. And by that I mean you take off the G's, the B's, the T's, and everything else, and you're left with what most of his career consists of. Nothing but L's. It's no secret, Dobson had a huge bias towards lesbian couples. He would draw them, and nothing but them, constantly.
Not the Legend
you
of
could probably count
Korra.
on one hand all the male gay couples he's drawn, but the ladies get all
3
love.
gays.
You could start a seafood restaurant with all the damn clam slamming going on in Dobson's art galleries. And I'm not saying that to be offensive.
Okay,
I'm saying that because this is the most thinly veiled representation I've ever seen. It's pretty obvious what's actually going on here. Dobson is more than likely getting his jollies from drawing this. And some might be thinking, well, Mush, you're just being judgmental. There's nothing inherently wrong with a grown man in his 30s drawing cartoon lesbians being cute and mushy. And well, maybe you're right, but I have a counterpoint. We have to go back to Dobson's old DeviantArt gallery. Around 2009, Dobson created a comic series called Alex the Pirate, a little comic about a ragtag team of pirates going on wacky pirate adventures. There's a bunch of anime tropes tossed in here. You got the oblivious to love boy, the pervert grandpa, but then you got the Dobson touch. A lesbian pirate. The dynamic here is, the main character, Alex, definitely not Captain Syrup from Wario Land, has the hots for the boy pirate whose name is Sam. Seems the top surgeon went well. Then there's the lesbian pirate named Atia, who has the hots for Alex. And then there's Sam, who only cares about treasure. It mainly focuses on Alex and Atia and their wacky shenanigans of love, in quotations. Very progressive for the time. Progressive in the terms that Dobson's other hand was progressively going down below while drawing these because this is 100% fuel for him. Earlier on in the comic's life, everything was very tame. There was even a whole gag with Alex being incredibly androgynous, so people thought she was a boy. But as it went on, the androgynous look was completely dropped for something more, voluptuous, and then the antics with her and Atia started being a bigger focus, with Alex getting groped, constantly taking baths, and always finding ways for them to take their clothes off with each other. Yeah, this man is clearly drawing this for his own personal needs. You really expect me to believe, in his refusal to change after all these years, he's changed in that regard? Nah, ain't happening. This comic is for him, and so is him drawing all those couples. It was also a pioneer in creating girl boss characters, while they flat out say they're better than men in one comic. Man, someone get this man a dummy mommy. A dobby mommy, if you will. There's also this comic where he coined the term lesbian kick. And I think he actually tried to make this a meme or something. He really thought it would catch on. He made shirts of it. You know, Dobson, if you really wanted to draw naked ladies in a mediocre 90s anime art style, you could have just started an NSFW account. I've seen worse artists get a following. He wanted to get off and get clout at the same time. And that's a recipe for disaster. Anytime he made a new art piece for a new show with gay women in it, people would automatically assume it was him thirsty again, which it probably was. Anytime someone would ask him, why don't you draw something other than lesbians, he usually points to one of like 3 pictures he's drawn of others, and that's about it. Of course people are going to find it weird when a man in his mid-30s who has drawn comics about women taking their clothes off all the time starts exclusively drawing lesbians. Of course people are going to take it the wrong way. You could bet Dobson would argue about this as well. Oh boy, when his popularity got boosted, so did the level of arguing. He was arguing with more people than ever before. Not just for art critiques, but also for him constantly sipping over lesbians, his constant bad takes on things, and the absolute ridiculous claims he held. If you didn't like something that was diverse or had a woman in the starring role, you just hated women. Can't be for anything else. He did this with Star Wars and Marvel, because of course he did. He's checking off all those boxes. You didn't like something he did, you were some istrophobe. It's classic egocentric behavior. It was very easy to get into an argument with Dobson for just about anything. And because of this fact, he became the prime target for massive trolling.
No.
Here we go.
Why is there so many, like... Why?
Any second now.
Why? Humiliation.
Dobson was very famous for being very easy to troll and make fun of. It was not hard at all to agitate him. Over the years, people had found ways to mess with him in increasingly over-the-top ways. I already mentioned the Samus Commission. Well, that one wasn't really a troll, more like a psyop. In 2012, someone walked in...
What? Oh shit, wiring name. Wrong name. Dobson, when hearing non-binary people can be drawn. Is this Yuri or Yaoi? Both. And also not. Music in the
Dobson had a Minecraft server he spent a ton of free time on, making all these little art projects on it, until 4chan found out about it and of course did their 4chan thing. It wasn't just trolls with no life either. Dobson was getting angry on every...
Hang on, I need to...
Dobson had a Minecraft server he spent a ton of free time on, making all these little art projects on it, until 4chan found out about it and of course did their 4chan thing. It wasn't just trolls with no life either. Dobson was getting...
Hey, Andrew, wanna see some hot lesbians making out? Why, yes I do!
Angry on every website. Okay, he was even getting riled up and blocking people.
Just kidding.
Every website.
What's that?
He was even getting riled up and blocking people.
Just kidding, it's really only quiet.
On Miiverse. Miiverse! Even little kids knew this guy was a walking punchline. And most famous of all, one day in the mid-2010s, he made a certain comic. Dobson went to a convention where he was there to sign and sell artwork. While he was at said convention, he witnessed a confrontation two people had while signing.
He looks like Freddy Krueger in this image. Like, not even like burned Freddy Krueger. Well, you know what kind of art you put on Patreon. Do you? Do you? This is totally not me fucking shilling my Patreon. By the way, if you go to my Patreon, by the way, for those on YouTube, it's in the links in my like little about area on YouTube. Otherwise, it's also linked on Twitch and a lot of my socials. I'm pretty sure she's 15 or 15, 14. Where are the balloons? What the? Here we go. Yeah.
To make a comic based on it. Tell your girls to smile. Axeman, what are you doing? Leave that poor woman alone! Never fear, Dobson is here to save the day.
Help! A bluebird in my doors attacked me with a baseball bat!
Now, no way this happened in real life, so this is probably just a power fantasy of what he should have done. But remember, this is supposedly based on something that actually happened. Some dude was taking pictures of a girl in a Power Girl costume, and yeah, it did happen. And then the picture showed up online. So,
what the
a
fuck?
stark contrast to what the Dobson comic was showing. Not only is she not offended, she is presenting herself to the camera. She was into it. You can get a glimpse of Dobby in the background, no doubt fuming this altercation was happening, and made her the victim in the comic when she isn't one. This man fabricated this entire scenario in his head. This comic was torn to shreds. People had a field day with this comic. It was the funniest thing Dobson had produced in his entire career. People started making parodies of it where the ending was changed or the characters were changed.
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah!
Tell your girls to smile.
What the fuck is this?
Whatever you're talking about, I don't care. Put Buzz back the way he was, then get lost.
This is probably the most famous thing Dobson has ever made. If you know about Dobson anyway, it was brought from this comic and its many parodies. Dobson was already seen as someone to make fun of on social media for a while.
Hang on, what does that say?
About Dobson anyway, it was brought from this comic and its many parodies. Dobson.
It's the guy whose persona is a blue teddy bear with a fedora. He drew the first two panels of the comic, posted about him coming to the defense of a Power Girl cosplayer who was violated. Here's the actual pictures. Apparently the blue teddy bear blank, one of the people sitting in the background, created a fantasy about him coming to the rescue of someone who was clearly enjoying the pictures.
Was already seen as someone to make fun of on social media for a while, not only for not being able to take criticism, not only for calling people every Istanphobe in the book, but for other such incidents, like this one, on August 11th, 2015. Zelda Williams saying it was a hard day for her, and
this week has been a tough one, near and far. Sometimes I fight it with laughter. Other times, information. Today, strangely, I'm at a loss.
Dobson responds with a meme telling her to calm thy tits.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What the fuck?
Well, Dobson, that's one way to respond to a woman having a hard day. I wonder what could be causing her distress. I wonder what tragic event could have happened the year previous to make that day hard for her.
No! No! Oh, then I, get, like, the hair done. Oh my god. No, this is horrible. Horrible.
Well, what a thing to say to a woman on the anniversary of her father's death. He deleted the tweet, and it took a heavy amount of pushback for him to finally apologize to her. The amount of backlash Dobson got from that was enormous.
At Dobson Comics. Hey dog, is this tweet real? Yep, and so is the one after it where I apologized and deleted the tweet because I realized my mistake. Thanks for ignoring that. Andrew, you told a woman to call thy tits during the anniversary of her father's death. What's today's subject? Andrew Dobson. This stream's not gonna be long because, yeah.
Now, imagine that, but instead of people being angry, they're laughing at you. Also around this time, blogs about Dobson's history and antics started popping up, so some of these were actually really helpful for the research of this video, so if anyone who ran those blogs see this, thank you for your kind work, soldier.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
Due to the political climate, the state of Twitter around the time, and now this ass-platting he was now getting, Dobson was easier to rile up more than ever before. This was like getting sprayed in the face with a gun. How would he respond to all this criticism? I'll tell you how. Death threats. So many death threats, he ended up getting banned from Twitter and Facebook. Now, a ton of people were digging into and learning about Dobson's past, just to clown on him some more. They found about all his past work, his plagiarism, and his crippling fear of carnival masks. Oh yeah,
what?
I forgot to mention. Dobson has a huge fear of carnival masks. So much in Fortran threads where they were making fun of him, they would constantly post carnival masks to scare him off from reading the threads. If you want to scare your local Dobson off, wear one of these. This also led to a bunch of images and memes connecting Dobson to air pumps and...
No.
Well, I couldn't ignore it forever, but we must.
I have a bad feeling.
It is part of Dobson's story, after all.
I don't think he's gonna stop.
What the fuck is this? Oh, that's horrifying. Inflation. No.
Do you remember earlier when I made a joke about Dobson potentially making an NSFW account? Well, it turns out he had already beaten me to the punch. Did you really think Dobson's only trace online was his old DeviantArt? Oh, no. He had another identity at one point. Just like the Lightbringer and his love for the green M&M, Dobson had his own skeletons in the closet. Dobson had another DeviantArt account dedicated to the thing.
I'm not asking about the green M&M. No. What? What is it? How do you end? No. I suppose you No. What the fuck? Oh.
Not the thing currently affecting the US, but the act of filling people, in this scenario women, specifically anime women from the 90s, with air. Whether it be the whole body or specific parts, Dobson was the one drawing this under this account. The art styles are damn near indistinguishable. It was not hard to trace this back to Dobson. Dobson would post a ton of art on this account, not just
irony of this, hang on. I would, to answer your question, Mason, this is a ship that, Jack, not Jack Slates, the other Jack, had came up with, and it's strayed from Ukmet, or BTD, whichever one. They're basically the same guy, one just got a glow up. It is overall better. The guy next to him is a character referred to as Sunny Day Jack. he is a clown, which makes the inflation thing a whole lot fucking worse.
Art, but to a whole other website known as expansion measure. Oh god. Oh god, what have I gotten myself into? The website is exactly what you think it is. A website for Dobson to post his artwork of girls getting blown up like balloons. You can view all sorts of comics, art pieces, and even some flash games. Oh boy, inflation games! You know the game Kaboom by Activision, the classic where you catch bombs thrown at you from above? Well, how would you like to play a remake of that, but instead of catching bombs, you're instead blocking nails to keep them from popping inflated anime girls? Video games have peaked. Sadly, it looks like the other two games have been lost to time. The download links don't work, and that's a shame. This one looked like a real winner. That goes for most of the site too. Most of it has been lost to time, and only certain sections of it work anymore. Because you could probably imagine, Dobson didn't really want this still up for people to find, so it's been shut down for well over a decade now. And a lot of you are probably wondering, why am I bringing this up? Why is this relevant? Am I just clowning on a guy for having a weird attraction to something? Am I kink shaming? Well, to be honest, the whole inflation thing isn't even that notable. You used to be able to go on the front page of DeviantArt and you get smacked with inflation art. It's like basic level internet weirdness. It's not even anything really all that bad at the end of the day. All this really comes down to is the hardening of the PP, and there are plenty of places you can go to do that. The reason why I'm bringing this up is the fact that Tom Preston, Andrew Dobson, made this website all those years ago. The same Andrew Dobson who would go on tirades on Twitter on objectifying women and making them appeal to the male gaze, and to stop doing sexist crap, making comics where he beats up guys taking pictures of boobies on ladies who are 100% consenting. He's the one who made this. An entire website dedicated to blowing ladies up, turning them into actual objects where you protect them in flash games from being popped. Dobson did all of that. He's been throwing stones in his glass house the entire time. Rules for thee and not for me. That's the name of the game here. And yeah, of course, once his career took off, he tried scrubbing any and all traces of this past life, but we all know once something is on the internet, it is next to impossible to take it down. So the archives exist, and they'll stay there. A monument to a man's inflated ego. A reminder of who he once was, and how this will be his legacy on the web. Almost 20 years of art, from inflation to a slow and painful degradation into the punching bag he would become.
Oh, this is embarrassing. Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
No style. He has no grace. This Tom has a funny face. He can handstand.
Nothing there. It's a ghost of a website.
Just
it's still up, but there's
resignation.
After being a walking meme in a punching bag for a couple of years, after being the subject of many a Tumblr blog, in 2020, Dobson would completely disappear from the internet. He abandoned his Tumblr, he completely wiped all of his comics off his website, and now the whole website is empty. It's still up, but there's nothing there. It's a ghost of a website now. Those blogs. It really does seem Dobson just packed everything up and left without telling anyone. Why did Dobson do this? They apparently told him to touch grass. Well, that's simplifying it too much. It is actually believed that Dobson's brother was getting a very high-profile government job, and his brother simply being related to Dobson, he lost said job opportunity. Dobson's actions of threatening people online, threatening politicians, and telling them to off themselves costed his brother a job.
No.
And so his family told him to just stop posting online, and it seems like that's what happened. Dobson was the tale of a man who refused to listen. He refused to take criticism, he refused to do what many believed was better for him. Your good intentions meant nothing to him. You were just a troll or a bigot if you disagreed with him. He stuck to that mantra, and he never let it go. It didn't help that the things he was making constantly were for him and him alone, and claimed it was him showing support for marginalized groups. After years and years of being a walking punchline, he decided the best thing to do was to leave. 3 years later, and surprisingly, Tom Preston still has not returned to the internet. All the blogs dedicated to Dobson, all the people documenting his history, have dried up, because he just isn't here anymore. The So You're a Cartoonist website is still up, which means he's probably still paying for the domain. But there's nothing on here, so he's paying for essentially nothing. Maybe he's planning for a big comeback, as a changed man, no longer the weird, toxic individual he once was. But honestly, if you ask me, the internet did more damage to Tom Preston than anything. I think it's better he stay off it, and live his life away from it. Dobson spent his whole life wanting to draw. I have no doubt in my mind he still is. But only for himself and his friends and family, where they're probably less likely to criticize him. He can now draw to his heart's content.
The eyes. Yeah, give him big ol' eyes. Gray, why Strayed not shirtless? Because this is like a little cutesy art. You want shirtless Strayed. All he takes is L's. The blueberry's coming to get you. Maybe on the shirtless Strayed. Maybe. But while I let this play out, I'm gonna see if I can grab another.
Without anyone making fun of him for it. Now he can live out his career as a cartoonist in solitude, drawing all the lesbian blimp women he wants. And if that's what he wants to do, well, who are we to take that away from him? God bless, like and subscribe, and good night. And remember, boys and girls, don't be a Dobson.
I'm gonna see if I can get another.
Andrew Dobson, professional artist.
We're just gonna pause it there. I can see if I can get another mush video. You know, since we're on this like little art kick, we're gonna get this one. Since the ones I have are kind of bunks. And while we wait, Sorry. This download's taking forever, so we're just gonna go to Magic Mushes. Alright. Go over here. Guess we're gonna see the blue bear again. No, we're not. No, we're not. I wouldn't torture anyone with that. Let's see. What can I do? Let's see. Let's pick your torture. Twin Tails of the world's foulest Pokemon fans. Let's see. We could do that or.
Your mental.
So, who are you drawing there, guy? I'm drawing a ship called Funny Hammer. It is straight, and a clown guy named Sunny Day Jack.
This adventure will take you.
Oh my god, the ads.
Has to start from something. The universe was created by a huge explosion of energy that all in this event, similar. Everyone loves themselves some memes, some funny little images they show off to their friends and share it around to make people laugh. It's a pastime most use on the web. But do you ever sit there and wonder, where did this pastime really originate from? Creating these things that were made for pure entertainment to share on with others trace back to a little website called somethingawful.com. Something Awful was created by a man named Richard Lotax Kianka on November 16th, 1999, right at the tail end of the millennium. What started as a funny little personal website for Lotax slowly morphed into one of the biggest internet forums of the early 2000s. Many classic internet icons came from Something Awful. This is why the users would splinter off and create 4chan. 4chan was a byproduct of Something Awful. So yes, meme culture is mostly forgotten, but that won't change the fact almost everything meme-related originated from here. There were a ton of talented people on this website making these memes, and one of those individuals went on to have one of the craziest stories I've ever seen on the internet. Dave Kelly. Past tense. David Kelly, known online for years as Schmorky, was an animator for Something Awful, who went on to do big things. Really, really big things. And then it would all come crashing down by his own actions and words. This is the story of Schmorky.
The internet animator The program's theming is very cute.
Dave Kelly had a rough early life. From everything I've read, he had a rough childhood, and going into adulthood, an even rougher time with that. In the year 2000, he graduated from college with a tech degree, but he had a passion for drawing and animating. But that wasn't paying the bills. He would hop from residence to residence, some with family members, some with friends, and then people from online, where he claims he was forced to do favors for some of them. Yeah, as you can imagine, that's pretty bad. He would take art where he claims he was and animated. In the year 2000, a rough childhood, and going into adulthood, an even rougher time with that. In the
year 2000, I recently graduated high school, and I was able to prove myself to be tech savvy for potential employers.
Year 2000, he grew family members, some with friends, and then people from online, where he claims he was forced to do favors for some of them.
I still wasn't pulling enough rent money, even with doing some commission work that made me uncomfortable. I did what I had to survive, and he was there to remind me that I needed to pay some help. Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, as you can imagine, that's pretty bad. He would take art commissions while doing this. Some, in his own words, were pretty disgusting, just to keep himself afloat. While these were commissions he didn't want to do, he did have a few more passion projects he made, and this is a perfect time to give you a sample size of some of Schmorky's work. You may not recognize his name, but there's a chance you've probably seen his work at least once.
I'm gonna have to mute that, but oh, these are like interesting. Mute some stuff. I'll probably have to like mute it later.
Mother, who killed the babbies? Because these babby can't fricks back?
If you still don't, what about this?
Wait.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
Party did
As you can tell, Schmorky had a hand in some of the most well-known internet memes at the time. Now, these are scattered all throughout the years, but I was really just giving you a broad stroke of his work. One of the places Schmorky posted these animations was Something Awful, which hit a chord with the users back in the day and were pretty popular on the site. Of course, these were just, early to mid-2000s, Low-Tax started hosting a convention for Something Awful members. Yes, a convention. It was called GoonCon. Goons were what forum users of Something Awful were called, if you don't know. There, all sorts of members of the board met up and did what else?
Now it means like something else entirely. So when I heard GoonCon just now, I did not think of that. I strongly dislike Rugrats. I haven't thought of Schmorky in a long time. Yeah. I'm learning though.
Stupid shit. During one of these conventions, Low-Tax had met with Schmorky in real life, and if you don't know, Low-Tax was a huge fan of Schmorky's work. Low-Tax learned of Schmorky's living conditions and felt bad for him, as anyone would. But Low-Tax decided to actually do something. There was nothing but positive lead to the golden age. After the two of them became part of the site, Schmorky's most well-known creation, cutesy knockoffs of the signature style.
And then
websites took hold, so the animations were making pretty slim margins by this point. So Low-Tax and Schmorky decided to start a YouTube channel called Gaming Garbage. They would scour the internet for poorly made Indian Flash games that drove them to the edge of insanity.
Slenderman is spawning kids, is that it? Huh?
I don't know.
Is Slenderman spawning children?
I don't know!
Yes. Wait, so... Oh my god.
God damn
it! Have you ever put a child on the ground?
This channel was mildly successful. It was something at least. Low-Tax and Schmorky were getting along well, having a blast suffering from these piss-poor games, and they started going off on their own ventures as well. This was really just a side gig. Low-Tax went on to do his own thing. Meanwhile, Schmorky was still taking commissions, and some of these commissions were from big names. I already showed you the dog one, but there were others as well. He even got work for Gang Grumps and the Aquabats, doing animations for them as well. Schmorky really got his name out there and was getting recognized. Schmorky did the unthinkable. He turned his hobby into his career. He was getting work most would only dream of getting. All seems well. Now, what could possibly screw this up? Well, how about Schmorky himself? Mainstream websites, Schmorky shifted most of his content over to Tumblr. But this was early to mid-2010s Tumblr, when the whole gender warfare was going on over there. You know, the whole dices scum phase of the website. And Schmorky was one of those people who fell into the gender warfare on Tumblr. Schmorky's work started becoming more and more politically correct, and definitely now leaning more into the cutesy style, to reflect how Schmorky wanted to be seen in the real world. Now, before we continue, I want to be clear that I like to be somewhat respectful to someone's identity if that's what they feel is best for them. And Schmorky slowly started leaning more into things he perceived were feminine. And if that's what he wanted, he deserves that. I'm not going to tell someone what they can and can't be. But it should be known, Schmorky said himself he didn't care what pronouns people called him. He said anything but it was fine. So for consistency's sake and the fact I know I'd probably screwed up in some way, I have used male pronouns and will continue to use them for the rest of the video. Schmorky started going under a new online alias, Daisy K, to fit the new him. He started rejecting anything of the gender binary and started labeling himself as genderqueer. Now, if you think the rest of this story is just crapping on some person for being nonconformant, you are sadly mistaken. Schmorky became obsessed with gender after making this change, to the point it actively started taking over his life. Every asset of Schmorky's personality now revolved around his gender. He never stopped talking about it. Schmorky was now a fundamentally different person than he once was. He, of course, started changing his appearance. Looking at this photo of young Schmorky, he's in his 20s and balding. Just like me. And in order to combat this, Schmorky bought a cheap yarn wig and coated his face in makeup. This was the end result.
No, can we not? No! What the fuck? Oh, wow, that... Oh. Sorry. So... Oh, this ain't it.
I will say, if his goal was to not look too much like a man or a woman, he succeeded. He doesn't look feminine, masculine, or even androgynous. He looks like he belongs in the fucking Mandela catalog. To also add to this change in presentation, Schmorky started talking in this very nasally high-pitched voice that is extremely hard to listen to.
No, yeah, use mom. Use mom to show you the way.
Yeah, I'm dual-wielding mom and a gun.
Yeah, but mom's not on. You gotta turn mom on.
Oh, how do I
turn mom on in the park?
How do I turn mom on in the park?
Click a button.
Today we play Clumsy Rex for PC.
Imagine listening to that for hours. Because of the... Many people just started finding him very bad terms. They in the arms of another. Schmorky's girlfriend. Well, had gender identity each day on that situation. But look, she calls herself Amanda or Mandy in most places. That's what most of her profiles said when researching, so that's what I'm going with. Someone who can give him happiness. There's just one issue. Amanda is schizophrenic. She is a diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic. Of course.
There's nothing wrong with being, I guess, schizophrenic or diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic. I have a friend who's schizophrenic. She's incredible.
Of course she's on medication for it, but when she's off said medication, she starts rambling about complete nonsense. So, you got someone obsessed with gender and has turned himself into Jeff the Killer and a medically diagnosed schizophrenic.
Oh no! 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 Actually, no! What was that? I heard words. No! I'm not reading the screenshot. You can't make me. Okay, I'm just getting my art stuff again. What the heck? You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Together, romantically. No. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Whenever Amanda and Schmorky got into an argument, Schmorky would hide her pills, and seeing as she needs those to function like a normal person, this would of course lead to arguments and situations when Amanda has a full-on mental breakdown. We actually got a recording of one of these arguments when Amanda started harassing Lotax's family after he and Schmorky had a falling out, and Schmorky wanted her to stop. Listen to it for yourself.
I'll never touch you again. I'll just do what you want. What do you want me to do? I'll do whatever you want. What do you want from me? Stop screaming. lying and pretending. I'm.
Oh my god.
What do you want from me? What? What do you want from me? I just want you to tell me what you want from me. What do you want? What do you want from me?
They're unbeatable. They're unstoppable. There is.
Okay. A lot of what Amanda says, she can't really help because her douche canoe of an ex was hiding their pills. Okay, I'm going to explain this. This is abuse. What Schmarky is doing here is a form of abuse. You cannot hide someone's pills. Because that's what lets them function. It's very similar, but it's not the same as hiding someone's pain medication and then watching them writhe in pain, crying and screaming. Amanda sounds incredibly distressed. Oh my god. Oh my god.
No answer. There is no answer to the Jewish question because they always win. They always win, and they're mine, and I'm theirs, and there's nothing I can do about it ever.
This is some of the most polarizing audio I have ever heard. You can hear this woman is clearly in mental distress, going on about Jews and thinking they're out to get her, or that Schmorky is going to hurt her. It's extremely hard to listen to. But then, any tension you might get from this immediately dissipates when you hear this shrill Mickey Mouse, Lois Griffin fucking crossbreed voice Schmorky is putting on, and you realize that voice belongs to the person who is causing her mental anguish.
I just want to know what the truth is. I don't want to fight anymore.
The truth is that you are now facing the consequences of harassing two people that did nothing to you. That's what's happening right now.
They did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, I think we're going to move on from this before Schmorky's voice makes me burst out into laughter and I look like a jackass. Now, how do you think we got this audio in the first place? You want to know? Well, it turns out Schmorky was the one who recorded it and then uploaded it to the Something Awful forums as a way to garner sympathy with what he had to deal with. As you can imagine, he was told off and kicked from the boards for recording his schizophrenic girlfriend's meltdown. Of course, their relationship wouldn't last after this. They eventually broke up and went on their separate ways.
Yeah, it's abuse.
Or so you may think. Now, this is sort of where the video might get some people upset, because now I'm going to bring up Kiwi Farms. Yes, I know the farms are a very controversial website, but this is actually where a good chunk of revelations in Schmorky's story take place, so I really don't have a choice in this matter. The people on Schmorky's thread were doing their thing, clowning on him and calling him a freak and all sorts of things. But after this incident, a surprise special guest will make an appearance on Schmorky's thread. Amanda. Amanda, who I assume was mostly medicated up when posting on here, was going to dig up a lot of dirt on her ex. And boy, did she have a lot to reveal.
Okay, well this does it. Yeah, I remember when this got posted. Oh. Okay. Schmorky's Secret Life. I don't like this. The following chapter includes fictional role-playing containing topics such as pedophilia, incest, and a lot of toilet-related subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh my god.
In the early 2010s, an internet user named Sandy Pants popped up on multiple websites. Sandy Pants was a 13-year-old girl who had a passion for animation, and for a 13-year-old, she had an obsession with the matter of the fecal and urination variety. She talked about it a lot. She even had Let's Plays up of her playing the game Facade, where she talked more about piss and shit.
I'm gonna pick it up.
Grace?
Steph?
Grace, hello?
No, please don't do
Hello.
that.
Is this the toilet?
Who is this?
Toilet
Grace?
man?
Is that you? Ugh, it's my dad. I can hear his voice.
Sorry, man. I have to poop.
Excuse me, I must have the wrong
Okay,
number.
he's being annoying as usual. Just hang it up.
No.
Well, Grace's parents. There's something else. Really classy
No,
people.
they're impossible. They're always expecting me to act like the dutiful daughter. It's so annoying.
Oh my god, my doodle is full.
Bringing up this person might seem completely random and out of nowhere, but trust me, we'll come back to Sandy Pants in a bit. Now, where were we? Alright, Amanda showing up on Kiwi Farms. Amanda revealed a lot of personal details about Smorky that a lot of people had already assumed, but Amanda was flat out confirming them now. Smorky was manipulative, verbally abusive, and refused to be seen without his yarn wig on. He also was apparently going to get his own cartoon at Nickelodeon, but he wanted full creative control. This meant shoving his obsession with gender in it. Nick didn't want this shoved in the show, so they backed out. Amanda also revealed more personal details about Smorky. This also included Smorky's kinks. Oh god, I gotta talk about this now. For well over a decade, Smorky had been dodging rumors that he was a furry who was into diaper role-playing. Way back in the day, 2 images showed up, bearing a striking resemblance to his work. And when confronted about this, he denied it, saying it was just a commission he did to pay the bills. But it should be known, being an artist from the early 2000s internet, of course he drew nasty stuff. In fact, Smorky even had a not suitable for work Patreon dedicated to drawing this crap. Do you want to see a clerf with detailed genitalia? No, you don't. Oh, this must be that outhouse show everybody's been talking about. Amanda came out and flat out confirmed Smorky was in the diaper
Thankfully, it's
stuff.
censored.
But she put her foot down and said she was not changing a full-grown adult's diapers and was not doing any of that crap. This revelation shocked absolutely no one. But what Amanda was doing here garnered the attention of other people. Most notably, Lotex came in and confirmed his alias carefully, came into the Kiwi Farms thread and revealed over 90 pages of chat logs they had with Smorky, where they role-played on Skype. What did these chat logs entail?
I'm pausing just to no. Walks in, walks right back out. Yeah. We're skipping whatever the fuck this is.
And lots of poop and rage. Detailed all of these chat logs had very, very graphic and detailed roleplay sessions involving characters who were explicitly said to be underage and involved incest, pedophilia. But just viewing the safe stuff still gives me the damn creeps. Important to note, this person claims they were 18 when these chat logs were made, and they flip-flopped on if they were underage at all when Smorky was chatting with them, and this person really didn't deserve any of this, and I feel so sorry for having to put up with Smorky's shit. Literally. Eat the poo-poo! The entire Kiwi Farms thread was appalled. Amanda was appalled. Lotex took it the hardest, because just a reminder, Smorky had been around his kids. Can you imagine what went through his mind after finding this out? And
we all have different
that's
skills.
horrible. Like, imagine being in Lotex's position during this. You had your best friend living with you. Had like your best friend living with you, around your kids even, and then you find out that someone who was your best friend, who was around your kids, is doing this. Oh my god.
when you thought this development wasn't enough, there was another one right around the corner. Another new user
There's
named
more.
Soliloquy showed up in the thread and revealed messages from 2007 that showed Schmorky had hired her as a voice actor to pretend to be a 13-year-old girl who talks about pooping and peeing a lot named Peaches the Puppy. Peaches the Puppy was some strange account on Furfinity with some weird photorealistic creepy art.
Hi, I'm Peaches the Puppy, and this is what I sound like in the real world.
What the This art is just...
Hi, I'm Peaches the Puppy, and this is my fucking voice. Yay, Kiwi Farms vaginas.
But people were also able to link this account to another account, Sandy Pants. People compared artwork and the obsession with fecal matter to Schmorky, and it all added up. Schmorky had set the whole thing up.
This just in, my butt.
Your butt.
My butt.
Your butt.
That's right, my butt.
Ugh.
My butt. My butt.
For those who were lost, Peaches the Puppy and Sandy Pants weren't real. They were not real people. They were Schmorky, who changed up his art style and hired voice actresses so he could roleplay as 13-year-old girls who were
Oh
obsessed
my
with peeing and pooping. He
God.
not only did it once, but twice! This was just even more confirmation. Schmorky was a freak. There was no doubt about it now. Everyone joined in on the Kiwi Farms thread to dunk on him. Amanda, his voice actors, Lotax, even Lotax's kids got in on the dunking on Schmorky. That's how
Oh, what the fuck?
much he got torn
Why
to
is the
shreds.
kid?
Shortly before all this transpired, Schmorky checked himself into a mental hospital, and after this all got unearthed, he left a concerning message on his Patreon and one last comment to his Tumblr. After that, Schmorky has not been heard of since. 6 years later, and all traces of him have been lost.
We're just skipping that because... Make this big.
As of right now, nobody has any clue what happened to Schmorky. There have been theories, and the theories are like the endings to a Silent Hill game. The bad ending, Schmorky's dead. Schmorky took his own life like his goodbye messages seem to imply. There isn't much evidence to back this up, but for some reason, back in 2021, a collection of NFTs popped up in remembrance of Schmorky, implying that he did die. But then it was revealed by the person who made them she just met with Schmorky and she had no clue what happened to him. So yeah, this was just a crock of shit. The good ending. Schmorky got the help he needed, and now is living a somewhat normal life away from the internet. Yeah, fat chance of that. The neutral ending. Schmorky is still in the mental hospital and probably will stay there away from society for as long as humanly possible. And of course, there's the joke ending. There is an ongoing conspiracy theory that after this all got unearthed, something flipped in Schmorky, and he became a completely different person. Again. He went on to become Stone Toss. You know, the guy who makes all those really anti-right-wing political comics. People have compared their art styles, and Stone Toss coincidentally started a few months after, because Stone Toss is just so wildly opposite of what Schmorky was. I don't think it's possible for Schmorky to turn into that. But those are all just theories. Nobody actually knows what happened to him. People have even looked at other artists with similar art styles to try and pin it to Schmorky, but no dice. Meanwhile, the creator of Something Awful, Lotax, his best friend for years, took his own life in 2021, and Schmorky was still nowhere to be seen to say anything about him. Nothing. Amanda would come back to the Kiwi Farms thread years later on a new account, but now identifying as Conrad, but create a new account and still called it Amanda. Which one is it? And Amanda, or Conrad, claims to have found Schmorky after going from hospital to hospital, and claims they were abducted by aliens. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh boy, someone's off their medication again. Yeah, they would go on for dozens and dozens of pages, going off about Scientology, demons, and religion. This is just a mess.
This is Toho, right? You know what this character's called? This character, I forget what her name is, but she's, something to do with, her name's the History Eater. Her name is the History Eater. This is what Chinese Google translates this to 4.
What the hell is this? Honestly, there's a chance this isn't even the real Amanda. It could be a dedicated troll, but either way, could someone please find Amanda or Conrad, man, woman, I don't care. Please put them back on their medication, for the love of God! So, at the end of the day,
Okay.
everyone involved in this story fucking lost. Low Tax is dead, Amanda or Conrad is off making crazy conspiracy theories. The one who roleplayed with Schmorky will probably have mental scars for the rest of their life, and Schmorky himself has never been seen again.
Most
An
likely
animation
dead.
pioneer on the internet is gone without a trace. And honestly, maybe it's for the best. God bless, be sure to like and subscribe, and good night.
Okay. Jean's gonna go live in 5 minutes. So, we're gonna end this. For my YouTube audience, please go check out Sheetan Sheetsru, who is the moderator here. Let me pull up his channel so you know where to go. Sheetan Sheetsru. Yep, you're gonna go here. And let's go on to, forgot how wild this was. Apparently, someday we will be judged for our sins, and a God will not be merciful. I just got back here. I said this was a short stream. Otherwise, next week we're going to have another instance of the charity live stream Cancer May Cry, where we raise money for Blood Cancer United. We're going to do a gaming stream next week, and it's going to be like a shorter week in terms of streams, but let me make sure I have. We're going to be playing The Price of Flesh next week, because that really needs to get done. Let me just transition the scene to here. Give me a second. Let's where's next week's streams? I'm gonna schedule another event, but next week there's so far 2 streams scheduled, which is a gaming stream and the Blood Cancer charity stream, Cancer May Cry, where we raise money through the application or the software Tiltify for Blood Cancer United. Let me go over to Twitch. Actions. Here. Rayeli is working on some Hurler. We're gonna go ahead and start raid. Thank you, my Twitch audience, for joining. Go have fun with Rayeli and tell them I said hi. However, on here, we must say goodbye. I'll see you all next week. Thank you. Bye bye. Have fun with Sheetan. Show him love.